Is self-belief a requirement to create what I want to create in my life? Now, on different days, I will say something different about self-belief. There are many ways in which I think self-belief is really important. But for this video, I want us to consider that maybe when it comes to achieving our goals, when it comes to doing what we want to do in the world, moving forward in our life, self-belief might not be as necessary as we think. So I had a client recently who was telling me that she really wants to start her coaching practice, and she really wants to go and create a business for herself that works. But she's crippled with the "I'm not good enough" feeling and a lack of self belief and self esteem around actually being able to go and do that. And we had a really interesting discussion where we talked about the possibility that self belief isn't necessary for her to go and take the steps that she needs to take. We think that the variable between, you know, not achieving what you want and achieving what you want is believing in yourself enough and having the confidence to go and do it. What if that's not true? And that actually the variable that determines whether you do something or don't do something is if you do it or you don't do it. Right? Like that's the variable, that's the difference. Whether you have self belief or not is irrelevant. Whether you are confident in yourself or not is irrelevant. Whether you believe that you can do it doesn't make a difference to whether you do it or not. So, in this example, this coach knew that she needed to invite people into conversations and invite them into coaching sessions and exclaim that she's a coach, right? These are some of the things that you do when you're starting a coaching practice. And she was struggling with the idea of saying, I'm a coach, when she doesn't believe in herself. She doesn't believe that she's good enough to be a coach. The only thing that determines whether she says, I'm a coach or not, is whether she says it or not. That's it. You don't have to believe that you're the best person in the world to go and do something to do it. You don't have to feel some sort of way about your ability or your capacity before you take the first step in doing it. Because that's just a thought. I'm not good enough, or do I really have what it takes, or that person over there is doing it and I could never do it the way they do it. Like that's all noise. And it's okay to have that noise. That's not an enemy. But it doesn't have any control over whether you go and do the thing or not. So if you have a dream, if you have something that you want to create, if you want to move forward in your life, in your career, in some direction, you get to do that whether or not you believe in yourself, whether or not you think that you can do it well or excellently or to a high standard or at all. And it might be fun to just play with that a little bit. We're fed all this information, we're fed all this stuff about how we need to believe in yourself and you need to have confidence and you need to, be your own number one cheerleader. And there's a place for all of that. And in another video, I might completely contradict myself because I really do believe in the benefits of all of those things. And I do believe in the power of language to create. But in this moment, for those of you that it's helpful for, consider that you don't need any of that to do the thing. You don't need to know anything about how it's going to go, about how well you're going to do, about whether you can. You can move forward in the direction that you want to go with self-belief or not, with confidence or not. It is not a requirement to get over your self-doubt before you take the steps. And that can be really liberating, to recognize that you don't need to do all this work on yourself before you go. You don't need to, sit and go through hours of figuring out how you can fix yourself before you move forward in creating what you want to create. You can do that now. You can do that in tandem with the rest of it. But it's not a necessity. You can do it if you're willing to. That's the only variable, is am I willing to move forward? Am I willing to take the step? Yes or no? Do I do it? Do I take the step? Do I move forward? Do I say out loud, I'm a coach? Yes or no? That's the difference that makes the difference, not whether you believe yourself while you're doing it. What if that's not as important as you think, and you can move forward and start your journey and create, whether you're, without as much interest in what's going on in your mind, without as much interest in the thoughts and the insecurities and the negativities and the doubts that you have in your mind. Put them in your backpack, bring them with you to the office, like that. They can be there, they don't matter. And you can still do the thing. Just some food for thought. I hope that's helpful.